All right. Welcome to the Eye of the Needle Hebrew class. Um, so we are going to begin starting the learning of the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. And so a few things about Hebrew. Hebrew is read from right to left, whereas in English, we read that from left to right. Okay. Some characteristics of the Hebrew letters. They have a meaning, they have a sound, and they have a numerical value. So what do I mean by they have a meaning? The letter Beit right here means house, okay? The letter Lamed, this means to learn or teach. It's off of that same root, okay? The letter Mem means water, and the letter Pei means mouth, okay? Also, it has a sound. The letter Beit has a B sound. And sometimes it has a V sound, like the V sound, but that's more into the grammar, and then we can get into that. In fact, the words that I give you is going to show these ones that have two sounds, they're going to have two sounds in that word too. The Lamed, it has an L sound, so it sounds like L. Ooh. The Mem, it has a M sound like M. And the Pei, it has a P sound as in like Peter, or it has a F sound as in fancy. Okay, those are the sounds. So this Beit and this Pei will have two sounds depending on where it's at in the word and what's going on with the word. Okay, but these two right here in the middle only have one sound. And then also it has a numerical value. So if you're looking at a strictly Hebrew Bible that only has Hebrew in it, even the verse numbers are going to be numbered with this. So for example, verse 32 is going to have a Lamed and then a Beit right next to each other. And that's how you say 32, or that would be the numerical value of 32. That would be verse 32. Or verse 48 would have a Mem and a Pei next to each other. And this is the numerical value for 48. Making sense so far?
So far.
So far. All right. Next slide. These are going to be the words of the week. We're going to get back to that though. Okay. This first verse, or this first up here, sorry. Does anybody know how to say the first verse of the Bible in Hebrew?
No, I do not.
Okay.
You mean in the beginning?
Yes.
Would it be something Bereshit?
Yes, Bereshit.
Beresh- Ha Bereshit?
So Bereshit, bara Elohim.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's the first part.
Okay.
The whole verse is Bereshit, bara Elohim, et hashamayim, ve'et haaretz.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll take your word for it.
Well, we're gonna see it.
Okay.
But since you knew the word Bereshit, hey, I will take what I can get. Okay. So this is the first half, and then as we can see, I had to import some letters in so that I can use them. So I don't really need those. Okay. But this is the first part of the first half of the verse of Genesis. Bereshit, bara Elohim. And I did this for you all. Right here.
Okay.
And I have learned some stuff since this making of this thing. So this right here sound is going to be like a tiny little E sound, you know, like when we say, or like a schwa, if you're familiar with schwa, this is like, when you see it transcribed, a lot of times it'll be some little upside down E up here. Okay, I don't have the thing to be able to do that. But, you know, like the word about or the word above, this,
Mhm.
when you look it up in the dictionary, this part that's the sound, it's gonna have this upside down looking E. Okay. So this, let's go give it a little E and be happy with it. I will, yeah, we'll just give that a little E. Okay, so be, re, sheet.
Bereshit.
So this is B, remember from this slide right here, its
Mhm.
letter is bait, right?
Eight.
So that's this sound right here, be.
Eight.
Mhm.
Eight.
And then this R, that's the re.
Resh.
Ray.
This olive, they say it doesn't have a sound. The Europeans say it doesn't have a sound. It technically does. We'll go into all that, but since it's not the letter of the week, we're not going to too much worry about it per se. Just like we're not really going to worry about the rest of these either, except for the ones that are the letters of the week. This sheen right here, this is this sound.
Shing. Mhm.
And then,
Berish.
yes, this little dot plus this yod, this little right here, that is the E sound that we're seeing right here.
Oh, okay.
And then this right here is the tav, okay, the t sound that we're seeing. And again, we're not necessarily going to worry about those other letters. We're only going to worry about this bait, this lamed, and this mem of the first part of Genesis. The only reason why I brought that up is because of the vowel sounds, okay? By being able to say Bereshit, Bara, Elohim,
Mhm.
you see these two dots that are next to each other right here?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it brings me to my next slide. So, here we see that there's a dot, right?
Right in
And
the middle of it.
right, this dot, we see that too, right? In the yellow,
Yes.
that is called a dagesh.
The gash.
And don't worry about necessarily memorizing this slide either. Because we're definitely going to keep going over this. Trust me, you have to. But you might as well start breaking down what we're seeing. Okay. These two dots that are aligned right here, this is called the schwa. You see, that's this right here. These circles, we're going to pretend like it's a letter. Okay. So any letter that it is that we're talking about in question, it can have this possible markup under it, just like it can have this possible markup under it. So this one particular right here, this is the schwa, okay? Let's see, beret. Under this resh, under this letter, so this is representing that circle that we see over on the next slide. These two dots right here, it's called sere, okay? And it makes the S sound. It is being combined. Let's see. Beret. Okay. It's got this olive here, so that's why I didn't put nothing there. Okay, so beret, and then this sheet. Okay, we got the shin. We've got this dot up underneath it. This dot is called hirik, and it makes the I sound. But when it is coupled with the yod, which I have no idea why I didn't put that there. Because this hirik yod is the same as this hirik yod up here. Okay. So for the sake of completing stuff. Oh, I know why I didn't do that. Because I wanted y'all to see that there was two, you know, you have like when it combines with this yod and then when you have it by itself. That's why I didn't do it. Okay. But how this is over here, this is combining with this yod just like this is combining with this yod. Okay. Okay. And then bara, we have this right. Oh, hand raised. Go ahead, Miss Holly. If you're talking, I can't hear you. Do you mean to have your hand raised, Holly?
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. On the shin or the sheen,
Mm-hmm.
there was a dot above and below. So are both of those the same?
No.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
So this dot that's above, there's one on this side and it lets you know to pronounce this as a sh sound. But you have also with this dot can be over here instead, and then you would pronounce it like your regular S sound.
Okay. 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 I was
So
trying to.
above is shin.
To the right is shin, to the left is
Shin.
sin. So the letter itself is called shin. This dot has to do with how you would pronounce it. Over here, it would be a sh sound. Over here, it would be like a S sound. But you don't have to worry about it because it's not a letter of the week.
So you say one is shin and the other one is sin?
Basically.
Okay.
Technically, the letter is called shin. It
Shin.
doesn't matter. But how you would pronounce it, it depends on where the dot is at.
Okay.
But when people teach the alphabet to American speaking people, they go seen and sheen. Just like with this one, they call it bet and vet. Technically, this letter is called bet. It doesn't, it's just called bet. If it has this dot in it, you would pronounce it as a B. If it doesn't have the dot in it, you would pronounce it like a V. But the letter itself is called bet.
So when the two dots are below that, that's another lesson. When one a dot inside and two below, does that make a difference in the pronunciation?
Okay. The dot inside makes a difference for the pronunciation of 6 letters that have 2 sounds.
Okay.
The dot inside for the other letters means that you're going to say that letter twice. Like, you know, the word we have bottle, it has 2
Mhm.
T's. But in Hebrew, there's no reason to be writing 2 letters next to each other like this. You put a dot inside of it and it lets you know to pronounce that letter twice.
So how would you pronounce that?
What you mean? When you pronounce a letter twice,
Yes.
it has to do with syllables. So that same letter would close one syllable and open another syllable. So if I said the bottle, right? If I
Okay.
said bottle, you're technically then by this rule, when you say bottle, your mouth is not supposed to be finished when you say ah. It's supposed to be finished when you get to the letter T. So you're supposed to say bot, basically, and then tool. But without that aspiration that comes after the T sound. So no, not bot, tool. You know, bot, tool. Your mouth is supposed to end in the T spot without releasing air. And then the next syllable, the tool, is supposed to start with the T sound.
Interesting.
Just like butter. You have the mouth is supposed to end in the T position, even though we're giving it a D sound. because no one says butter. We say butter, even though we spell it with T's, right? So this is, and we'll go over that when we go over like syllables. Okay, because
Okay.
what I'm saying is going to make more sense when we're going over with syllables. Just like you remember when we were learning syllables for English words, you can clap them out, right? So if I say computer, it has computer. That's 3 syllables, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But then when we start talking about stress and we start talking about syllables, like if somebody says something like computer, we're like, what is a computer? You know, now if they use the word in a sentence, then, you know, we'll know based on the sentence they were trying to say computer. But if somebody just, you know, they're pronouncing a list of words and they say computer, we may not recognize what a computer is, you know?
Okay.
And then also if they give it, you know, move the letters around. So if they call it a computer, what is a computer? So if they close the syllable after the P instead of closing it after the M and beginning the next syllable with P, then we would have something like comp and then U and then ter. And again, we don't know what a computer is. Does that make sense?
Have to practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, just like give me another long word we can think of.
Encyclopedia.
Okay, we'll go with that one. Encyclopedia. So if we say encyclopedia, right? Gosh, dang. You got to give me 7 syllables?
You said a long word.
Yeah, well, you didn't disappoint.
Okay, let's shorten it. Say baby.
Well, I need something that's about 3 syllables or more, that's why.
Oh, see. Okay.
Birmingham.
Huh?
Birmingham.
Birmingham. Okay, so what is it? Birmingham, right? So I could say Birmingham, and then I made it basically 2 syllables, right? Because I said B-U-R-M. I said Birm, and then Ingham
Inham.
instead of Birmingham. So basically I shifted the M from the second syllable where it belonged and put it in the first syllable. And so then I made Birmingham, Birmingham. Are you hearing how they sound different?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Like you're saying Birmingham instead of Birmingham.
exactly. Because I moved the M and put it in the first syllable instead of leaving it in the second syllable where it was supposed to be.
Okay.
Or let's see, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. I can say Oklahoma, right? But that's who says Oklahoma. But I get in that pronunciation because I'm saying the K and the L and putting it in one syllable. So I'm saying OKL and then making the A 1 syllable and then homa, you know, the rest of the word or whatever. Or if I said Oklahoma, we're definitely butchering this word. But do you see how like we can butcher it just by moving the letters and putting them in the syllable that they they don't belong in. Or like the word calculator. If I said calc you later, or cackle you later, starts getting weird. But yeah, and all we're doing is just moving a letter and putting it in a different syllable. So that's what this has to do with. This dot in here that's called a dagesh for the letters that it doubles. But that's like, we're getting way into the grammar weeds.
Okay,
Yeah, when, you know, all we want to do is learn how to pronounce 4 letters for the week. Because trust me, once we start seeing these and we know all of the letters, then we can start talking about the rest of this stuff. But it makes it kind of really hard because I got to give you English examples, you know, in order to do so, which I can. That's not the issue. But I don't want to put too much on your mind. Because all of this stuff that we're talking about right now, it's good for you to hear it so that when I say it again, you're like, oh, is this what you were talking? Yeah. But as far as like for remembering, the only things that I want you to remember is 4 letters this week. And the only things that I want you to remember about those 4 letters is what they sound like and what their numerical value is, and to be able to write it. I'm only bringing up the alphabet, I mean the vowels, because we're going to see them too. Okay. In fact, I should have wrote out how you say the letters with their vowels, and I may do that too, so that you know what, that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's exactly what I'm going to do, so that you can see how, because you can spell out the Hebrew. Oh, that's why I didn't do that. Because you would be seeing other sounds too. So you know what? We're going to hold off on that because I don't want to involve other letters yet. Because I made words that's literally only going to deal with those 4 letters. Or I didn't make the words, they were already in existence. But I picked words that only deal with those 4 letters. So that way you don't be having all this extra stuff to try and memorize. And those words are already going to have vowels, so you're going to use some of these vowels anyway. The only reason why I'm bringing this up, this scripture, is to let you know that of this, we're already practicing all of these vowels right here with just the first half of Genesis 1:1. So if you know how to say Genesis 1:1 in Hebrew, Bereshit, bara, Elohim, you already know how to say these vowels right here. Which these is off of them. So some stuff is missing, like this dagesh right here in the yellow, and then this schwa is not on this chart. Because again, I mean, I can't hit you with everything at once. But from this here, this sere that's right here, that is down here. Okay. This hirik that's right here, that is up here. This kamatz is right here. That is right here. So far, we've got this one, and this one right here. I would highlight it, but the last time I tried to do that, it messed up the whole file. So sorry, all I can't, but I would love to. Then we have this hatef sagol right here. That's up here. We have this holum. That's right here. And then we have this hirik yod. That's right. Lord help me. That's right there. Okay, so we've gotten this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And I believe that there was, yes, this one right here from just the first half of the first verse of Genesis. If you know how to say that, you know how to say those vowels right there that I circled. Okay. So with the words that we actually have going here, let's see. Can I make this bigger? I think I can make this bigger. Yeah, hold on, let me. Perfect. Is that big enough so far, or do I need to make it bigger? Actually, I think I can.
I can see it.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so besides this schwa at the beginning, like this, that sound, we have the a sound, and you can find it over here in this category. See, right here, So this word so far is le, fa, and we're going to close the syllable right here at the mem. So le, fam, pem. And if you go and compare, got 10 minutes. So if we go and compare, we'll see that this sound right here, this little line that's up underneath the letter, is that same little line right here. Because remember that circle represents the letter, right? Yes? No?
Okay,
The circle represents a letter, so it's that line up underneath that we're talking about. On this whole chart, the circle just represents a letter. So this line up underneath makes the A sound. In fact, everything in this column makes the A sound. Everything in this column makes the E sound. Everything in this column makes the I sound. Everything in this column makes the O sound. Everything in this column makes the U sound. Okay? Pretty much.
Okay.
And since I don't think I have any words that have these in them, I'm not going to really talk about those this week because that's just going to be too confusing. So if you compare the vowels, when you see this L is this L right here. This lamed is this L. That eh sound, that's this little thing down here. Okay? That F sound is this pay right here. But if you notice, this pay has a dot in it, but this one does not, right?
Okay.
right, and two dots underneath.
Yeah. So one makes the F sound,
Right,
one doesn't. Yeah.
right. So the one that has the dot in it makes the P sound, and the one that doesn't have the dot in it makes the F sound.
Okay,
So then how we read Hebrew? We start with the letter, then go to the vowel. Zigzag up to the next letter, read the vowel. Zigzag up to the next letter, drop down and read his vowel. Zigzag up to the next letter, drop down and read his vowel. Zigzag up to the next letter.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. The only one where it's different, but I'm not gonna make y'all to look to this. I'm just letting you know how many vowels we covered with this. The only one of the Hebrew vowels that is not below it is this one right here that you see next to the lamed, and it's above and next to a letter. But we're not gonna go over that because none of these words contain that. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I'm just saying, I don't want to say every single Hebrew vowel goes up underneath the letter Y because there's only one that's up there. Okay? So, but other than that, all the rest of them is up underneath, just like we can see in this chart. All the rest of them is up underneath, right?
Mhm.
All of them is up underneath. The only one that's sitting up there is that one that's sitting over here. And then these ones down here is a whole different animal that we'll get to. Okay?
okay,
Oh, okay.
This word right here, le, we start here, L, and then drop down, le, la, pef.
le, la. Yeah.
Le, la, pef. And then this one, le,
La-
al,
La,
bel, le, val, bel. So where is the syllable is at? Remember, Hebrew, we start with the letter, go to the vowel. Start with the letter, go to the vowel, like this, okay? Now,
mm,
the reason why this is not being pronounced as the E sound is because it's in the middle of a word, okay? There's gonna be deeper rules, we'll get to those. But for right now, for these words that we're talking about today, the schwa at the beginning of a word is gonna have that E sound. But when it's in the middle of the word, it's closing the syllable. So basically, it is saying like this. Okay,
mhm.
like that.
Okay,
And that's the same thing that's going on up here. Okay,
Like a 3-syllable word.
yep. Le, fam, pem.
La, fe.
Le, la,
La,
pef.
le, la, hail.
That's it. I just want y'all to be able to say those 3 words. Le, fam, pem. Le, la, pef. Le, val, bel.
Le la femme, le la pem, le la pef, le val bel.
Yep. And look at this. This one right here, just a little nugget for you. You know the Tower of Babel?
Mm-hmm.
This is off of the same root right here, which means,
Oh, yeah.
because didn't he say he
Confused.
founded the language? Yes.
So Babel in English and converts to le val bel in Hebrew. Is that what you're saying?
Uh, yes, like you know the infinitive form.
Okay.
Yes. But you know, just that was just a little nugget, nothing to remember for right now. Just we'll get into that because you have to know how to conjugate words in order to
Yeah.
get on that. Okay. But I'll see about how I can get a slide out to you guys that will not mess up that last little bit there. But I will insert a slide in between these two that breaks this up by the syllables for you. Okay.
Okay,
And that's all I want you to know how to say between now and the next 2 weeks is le fam pem. We got 2 minutes. Le femme pim,
Le
Le
Fontaine.
Fontaine.
le femme pim,
Le
Le
Fontaine.
Fontaine.
perfect. Le la pef,
Le
Le
La
Lapin.
Paix.
perfect. Le valbel,
Le
Le
Vaudeville.
Vaudeville.
perfect. Perfect. All right.
Okay, will we be able to print these off like we did the others? Can you?
Oh, I'm trying.
You try? Okay. Okay.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
gonna insert a slide in here and then I'm gonna see. Now,
You gonna okay.
so hopefully this thing will print out for you guys, but if it doesn't, I would take a screenshot or something. No
Okay,
one
yeah, we can
tried,
do that. Yeah.
Okay.
but I'm scared to do anything. But since we got through the lesson, I can at least now see if it'll let me put this in slide form. In the 1 minute that I got left. It's, I don't, yeah, I don't know how to use, there we go. Slideshow. Let's see if it'll go for me. Gonna go, okay, there we go. So if y'all want to start taking pictures, you can.
Okay.
Okay, so I can move on to the next one now.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Move on to the next one now.
Yes.
Okay, don't really necessarily need that one. Or that one per se. Or that one. That's just to let you know how many vowels we got. And if you wanted that chart, there's that. Okay. And then let me go right here to this one and